Welcome to the Daniels College of Business at the University of Denver. Congratulations on your acceptance, and we look forward to working with all of you. The purpose of this webinar is to provide new students with important academic information as they begin their program. In this webinar, you will find information on academic advising, faculty advising, the academic calendar and the quarter system, and a variety of resources that are in place to help make your experience here the very best it can be. We hope you find this webinar informative, and if you have any questions afterward, please make sure to contact your academic advisor. You should consider the Graduate Student Advising Team one of your primary resources during your time here as a student. Our office is located in Suite 255 in Daniels. That's the Student Services Suite, second floor, south end of the building. Our team is available for questions concerning general advising, course selection and course registration, questions about graduation, degree requirements, or academic probation, and any other question concerning DU or Daniels academic policies and procedures. You can email us at gradbiz.advising@du.edu. You will have a primary academic advisor, and that's based on your last name. If your last name is in the A through L category, your primary advisor is Jackie Nguyen. If your last name is in the M through Z category, your primary advisor is Kenny Metcalf. Our director is Lisa Bradley. You may occasionally interact with her concerning academic matters, but the majority of your time will be spent with either Jackie or Kenny. In addition to your primary academic advisor, each student at Daniels has a faculty advisor, and that's based on program. Each department or program here at Daniels has a designated faculty advisor or set of advisors who can help with degree or concentration advising, answering questions about specific course content, helping with internships, and also career advising. We really encourage you to get to know your faculty advisor, get to know the academic department as a whole, and don't forget to use those folks as a networking resource. Very often these individuals are well connected, have a huge network through which you can get connected, and it's very important that you get to know them and again use them as a networking resource. Here's the list of faculty advisors. As I mentioned, every program has a designated faculty advisor. Make sure you connect with that person early, get to know them, build that relationship, and use that person as a resource. The University of Denver and Daniels College of Business are on the quarter system. There are 4 quarters per academic year: fall, winter, spring, and summer. With the exception of summer quarter, each quarter is 10 weeks in length. Summer is actually a little bit shorter, it's 9 weeks. The only unit here at the university that's different and is not on the quarter system is the law school. So if you did by chance take a course or two in the law school, they are on semesters. So just keep that in mind if you do decide to take a class over there. A lot of you are probably coming from semester-based systems. The biggest difference between semesters and quarters is the pace. Quarters are faster pace. We cover the same amount of material in 10 weeks that a semester would cover in 14 or 15 weeks. So it's really important that you all keep up with the pace in your classes. In some of your classes, you'll have a midterm exam in week 5, which will come very, very quickly. So again, very important you keep up with the pace. We do have a break between every quarter here. There's a long winter break after fall quarter ends, right before Thanksgiving. You don't have to go back to school until early January, which is nice. It's about a 5-week break. And then winter quarter starts in early January, goes through the middle of March. Then there's a week off for spring break. Spring quarter will start in late March and go through the end of May. Then there's a couple weeks off. Summer quarter begins in the middle of June and goes through the middle of August. And again, another couple weeks off. And then fall quarter begins in early September. Our classes here meet twice a week, either on a Monday, Wednesday, or a Tuesday, Thursday schedule. There are a few exceptions. We do have a few Friday courses but those are very, very rare. And then each class session here is an hour and 50 minutes. If you want to view the academic calendar, understand when you might be billed for tuition, any other things that pertain to the calendar, you can visit du.edu/registrar/calendar. At some point soon, recommend that you all take a look at your degree plan and your advising grid. The degree plan is a document that shows your degree requirements, including the credit amount you need for the degree, any prereqs, and then your electives. The advising grid shows the recommended course sequence per quarter, and this is based on the current academic schedule. It's important that you try to follow your grid as closely as possible so you don't get off track. Once you start here, you have a 5-year window to complete your degree. For most of you, that's more than enough time. However, some of you may decide along the way to add a second degree. That 5-year window still pertains to a single degree or a dual degree. If for some reason you need more time past the 5-year window, there is a petition process you can go through to get a time extension. I mentioned in the previous slide that MBA students will take 3 classes in their first quarter. That will also likely be the case for those of you who are accounting or Master of Science students. 3 classes is a typical load in a student's first quarter. However, as you move along in the program, you may decide to increase your load to 16 credits a quarter, which is 4 classes. If you are a part-time student, working professional, you will likely be in 1 to 2 classes per quarter, which is 4 to 8 credits. You'll notice that the majority of our classes are 4 credits each. There may be an occasion during your time here when you need an overload. An overload means you need to take more than 18 credits. We don't typically recommend this. However, again, this circumstance may come up, especially if you need to expedite your program. For example, if you have a job offer that requires you finish your program early, we can help you with an overload process. And just come meet with an advisor and we will help you with that.
A couple of slides ago, I talked about the quarter system and its unique nature and fast pace. Because of its unique nature, there are some very important dates to remember concerning registration, particularly around when students can drop a class and receive a full tuition refund. Here at the University of Denver, students have a 1-week time window during which they can drop a class and receive a full tuition refund. For spring 2016, the quarter begins on Monday, March 21st. Students have through Sunday, March 27th to drop a class and receive a full tuition refund. Additionally, there's no withdrawal notation on a student's transcript if a course is dropped in that first week. You'll notice starting in week 2, the refund goes from 100% to 75%. So for spring quarter, starting on Monday, March 28th, if a student does drop a class, the refund will be 75% instead of 100%. And a student will also have a W pertaining to that dropped class. Beginning in week 3, which is April 4th, the tuition refund goes down to 50% along with a withdrawal. And after week 3, there's no tuition refund. So make sure if you are considering dropping a class during your time here, make sure to do it during that first week so you get your full tuition refund. Prior to the start of every quarter, we will have advising week or advising weeks so students can come in and meet with us and talk about their schedule for the next quarter. For summer quarter 2016, advising week will be April 4th through the 8th. Prior to that date, we will contact you all and let you know that advising is open and you're welcome to come in and meet with us and talk about your schedule for summer 2016. And then registration for summer 2016 is the week after, April 11th. Summer quarter begins on Monday, June 13th.
There are 3 important electronic resources that I want to point out. The first is Pioneer Web. This is the primary electronic portal to the DU community. You can log into Pioneer Web using your 9-digit DU ID number and then your passcode. Once you've logged into Pioneer Web, you'll have access to the eNet and MyWeb. MyWeb is where you'll go to register for classes. You can look at your class schedule, check your financial aid, and also check your final grades. The eNet is a great source of information for graduate students. It contains all of the advising grids and degree plans, the graduate student handbook, different forms, for example, the internship registration form and independent study registration form, and a variety of other information. You can access the eNet by clicking on the Daniels tab in Pioneer Web. It'll be at the top of the page, and all Daniels students will have this Daniels tab. A few important points concerning grading. In order to graduate from a Daniels graduate program, you must have a minimum GPA of 3.0. If for some reason your GPA dips below a 3.0 during your time here as a student, you will be placed on academic probation. If that happens for 1 quarter, that's typically not a cause for concern. However, if your GPA is below a 3.0 for multiple quarters, you will need to come in and meet with an advisor and possibly be placed on an academic improvement plan. For most students, this is never an issue, but I do want to make you aware that you must have that 3.0 GPA or better in order to graduate. Also, if you are an MBA student, you must have a 3.0 GPA within your concentration courses. So for example, if you have declared a marketing concentration and you are taking 4 marketing electives, you must have a 3.0 GPA within those 16 credits, within those 4 classes, in order to graduate with a concentration. If for some reason your GPA is below a 3.0 within your concentration, you can still graduate from the MBA, but you will not be able to graduate with a concentration. In terms of individual grades, any grade lower than a C- is considered non-passing at the graduate level. If for some reason you received a grade below a C- in a core class or in a required class, you will need to repeat that course and receive a passing grade in that course. Additionally, both of those grades will be applied towards your GPA, so the non-passing grade and the passing grade. The passing grade does not cancel out the non-passing grade. So again, both of those grades will be part of your GPA. If you receive a non-passing grade in an elective course, so a non-required course, you do not necessarily have to repeat that class, but you will need to take another class in order to make up for those credits. Because again, anything lower than a C- would not count towards your degree requirements. Here's the sample grading scale. Some instructors may have slightly different scales, but this will give you a pretty good idea of what you can expect in terms of numerical grades and their corresponding letter grades. And as I said in the previous slide, remember, anything below a C- is considered non-passing. During your time here as a graduate student, you may occasionally encounter a closed course. In other words, a course in which the enrollment cap has been met. This is not very common, but it does happen occasionally, especially in some of our more popular classes, finance and marketing. If you do come across a class you want to take and the class is full, please don't panic. You can just add yourself to the wait list. You can do that through MyWeb. And then we will work with the academic department and the instructor on getting those students off the wait list and into the class. In most cases, this is never a problem. We're able to accommodate all students. So again, please don't worry if you come across a wait list. Go ahead and add yourself, and then we will work to get you in the class. We'll contact you via email once that happens and let you know that space has become available. A couple of important points concerning transfer credit. First of all, if you think you might be eligible for transfer credit, please come see one of the graduate advisors. We can help you with that process and determine whether or not you are eligible. Second point, one of the questions we get quite often regarding transfer credit is, I took some courses at CU Boulder, for example, towards my bachelor's degree. Am I able to use some of those courses towards my degree here at Daniels? Or I took some courses at CU in my MBA program. Am I able to use those courses here towards my master's degree in finance? The answer to those questions is no. We cannot double count any courses. So if you've taken classes somewhere else at another institution and those classes were used towards another degree, we cannot use those classes here as transfer credit. So again, there's no double counting of courses. However, if you have taken courses somewhere else and they were not used towards a graduate degree, it is possible we could use those as transfer credit here. Typically, we allow up to 2 classes of coursework towards transfer. Must be from an accredited school and must be within the last 5 years, grade of B or better. And if you have those qualifications met, we do ask that you initiate a transfer credit request within your first quarter of enrollment. So again, if you have questions about this process, please come see an advisor and we can help you. It is possible to register for an internship course and/or an independent study course and use those experiences for academic credit. Usually those experiences would only count towards your elective credits. As far as internships are concerned, it's a 2-step process once you receive an offer. First off, you'd want to meet with a faculty advisor and we can help connect you with the appropriate person. You'll want to sit down with that person, talk about the experience, talk about your duties and responsibilities, and then your advisor will tell you what that person wants from you in terms of a deliverable. It's usually some kind of paper or project that you will submit that summarizes your experience and what you learned. That deliverable will then be graded and your advisor will submit a grade in the internship course. As far as independent studies are concerned, if you have identified a research area of interest, usually an area or a topic that is not covered in a class that we teach here, you can move forward with an independent study. It's a similar process as the internship. You would connect with a faculty advisor, talk about the topic of interest, and then your advisor can help you with a course plan to start the independent study. Both of these experiences, the internship and independent study, require a registration form. Those are on the e-net, and you can talk to an advisor here about how to get that process started. You do have a maximum number of credits per degree that can be used either in internships or independent studies, and that number is 10. A few important DU resources. First of all, the DU bookstore is located in Driscoll South. Driscoll is the building on campus with a glass footbridge that spans Evans Avenue. There's a Driscoll North and a Driscoll South. And again, the bookstore is in Driscoll South. Also in Driscoll South is the Pioneer Card office. This is where you'll go to get your student ID card. And it is on the ground floor just below the bookstore. If you are interested in athletics and recreation, the Ritchie Center is a great place on campus to go. Inside the Ritchie Center is the Course Fitness Center, climbing wall, squash and racquetball courts, an Olympic-sized swimming pool, yoga classes, and basketball courts. If you are getting a parking permit, they are available, somewhat limited, but take a look at the options at parking.du.edu. Some of the permits are a little bit pricey, so you want to do some shopping around before you decide to buy a parking permit. Student Financial Services is the office on campus that handles all student billing matters. Once you register for classes, you will receive an eco bill via email to your preferred email address. On this bill, you will see a complete breakdown of your tuition charges, information on how to pay your bill, and then the deadline to pay your bill. Please note, you will not receive a paper bill from the University of Denver. It is a paperless process. If you feel the need to sign up for a payment plan, you can do that through Student Financial Services as well. A few words on financial aid. There are 2 primary sources of funding here at Daniels for graduate students. The first is institutional awards. These include merit-based scholarships and grad assistant positions. These awards are typically given out at the time of a student's admission. However, if you did not receive an award at the time of your admission, you might be eligible for one of these awards as a continuing student. Typically, we would want to see 1 quarter's worth of academic work, and then you could apply for some of these awards. The second source of funding is federal, including loans and work study. There also might be some private resources, private scholarships, and grants available. If you are a working professional, we certainly encourage you to talk to your employer about any kind of tuition reimbursement. And finally, if you are military, there are sources in place, GI Bill and Yellow Ribbon, for example, to help out. If you have any questions about any of these resources or financial aid in general, please contact Susan Harries here in our office. Her contact information is on this page.
For those of you who are veterans and have questions about VA benefits, the post 9/11 GI Bill, or the Yellow Ribbon Program, Michelle Hansen is your contact here at DU. She's the coordinator of athletic certification and military programs. Her office is in the Office of the Registrar, which is in University Hall, right next to the Daniels College of Business. You're welcome to email her or call her directly or stop by her office. She's a great resource for veterans.
All DU students are required to have some kind of health insurance coverage. Many of you probably have your own plan. That is absolutely fine. If you do, please make sure you go into MyWeb after you've registered for classes to waive the DU plan. If you have your own plan and you do not waive the DU plan, you will be billed for it. If you do not have your own plan and you wish to sign up for the DU plan, please do so through MyWeb. If you have any questions about health insurance, please contact the bursar's office. If you think you might need classroom accommodations, we have an office here on campus. It's called DSP, Disability Services Program, and they can help you with any and all accommodations requests. They have an email address, dsp@du.edu. There's also a phone number that you can use for contact. Please make sure, if you are going down this route, that you communicate with your professors. Okay, make sure that those people are aware of what's going on and what kind of accommodations you might have during your time here as a student. In the past, many students have asked about discounted textbooks. Here are some resources you might look into if you are interested in used textbooks or discounted textbooks. Please note there is a rental program now through the DU bookstore, and that's a nice way to avoid paying. A few words on graduation. It might seem strange to be talking about graduation already, but for some of you in the Master of Accountancy program or some other MS programs, you'll be finishing the program and graduating in 12 months' time, perhaps even sooner. So it's important that you're aware of some processes in place concerning graduation. First of all, the university does require that you apply for graduation online through MyWeb 6 months prior to your intended graduation date. You will receive reminders for the application for graduation quarterly from the Office of Graduate Studies. Please make sure you do that 6 months in advance. Second, there are 2 ceremonies pertaining to graduation for Daniels graduate students. The first is academic hooding. That's every quarter, so fall, winter, spring, and summer. And the second is commencement. That is in the spring and summer only. The spring commencement ceremony is in June, and the summer commencement ceremony is in August. Commencement involves the entire university, so all graduate students from across DU will be involved in commencement. Academic hooding is for Daniels students only. Once you submit your application for graduation, you will receive information on both of these ceremonies via email. As you get ready to start your program here, just wanted to offer a few words of wisdom. First of all, make sure you explore and utilize the DU campus. Use the facilities that are in place and the resources here to make your experience better. Second, be proactive and get engaged. Seek out ways outside the classroom to enrich your experience. You might think about joining a student group or attending networking events, perhaps participating in case competitions. And as I mentioned earlier, make sure you use the faculty and staff here as a networking resource. Third, make sure you maintain a healthy balance while you're a student here. You will likely be involved in extracurricular activities, perhaps an internship, other things outside the classroom. Make sure you keep a healthy balance and don't get overextended. On behalf of the graduate advising team, welcome again to the Daniels College of Business. We wish all of you a lot of success here, and if you have any questions about the content in this webinar, please make sure you contact your graduate student advisor. Thank you.